the popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and nuts. They're our topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhand twos to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.
Welcome to the Ejectables. This is the show where movie enthusiasts Bill and Ian join forces with a weekly rotating guest to celebrate movies that we feel have been unjustly panned by the critics or sadly ignored and forgotten by audiences. Today's guest is Baxter Smith. Baxter Smith is an LA-based, what are you? You're a writer and record collector who is working on many projects, but is hoping at least one gets completed. Baxter, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of hard to define what I'm doing. I'm sort of in like this transitional place, but I do creative work. I am a writer. I collect records, as you mentioned, and yeah, I forgot to mention this, but I did write an independent feature that we shot 2 years ago.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you. It's still, I think we almost have picture lock. It's been out of my hands for a while, and I kind of, I'm not going to nettle them, so I kind of just
we can do it for you.
Oh yeah. I've sort of just waiting for updates, and at some point it'll just, I think, materialize, hopefully.
Okay, I mean, you've done your part. That's on them.
Yeah.
Finish
exactly.
it, you guys. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, it's Sunday.
Dark.
I also hear that you okay, so you collect records. Is that like world records? Is that like running stuff? Like what kind of?
I can understand the confusion. It's a very loose term. It's actually vinyl records, as you can see a couple of them displayed conveniently behind me.
What's your favorite record store in LA?
Oh, it kind of depends. I really like, there's actually one right near me, Atomic, and I really like them. Although, minor criticism, they don't have a new arrivals section. So if you go there, you kind of have to go through everything, and it's sort of a crapshoot what's going to be there.
I remember Amoeba was cool.
Amoeba's cool, kind of overwhelming, and they have a lot of new pressings, and I like finding the used stuff, kind of the more, not to be a hipster about it, but like the obscure, harder to find things. There's one called Arroyo over in the Eagle Rock, I think, area.
That's Royal Records, Highland Park. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
Highland Park, yeah. And Sibylline, actually, I recommend them in Pasadena. They have a cool like African section that I always kind of peruse, and very unique.
Wow, there's so many. In Connecticut, there's not a whole lot.
I'm in Portland, Oregon. It's a national pastime here.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, what else do you do?
Besides bomb federal buildings.
I thought you meant Iran. Oh, sorry.
No,
not too soon.
Topical.
That happened last night, everyone. Sorry.
Okay, Stephen Colbert.
Hey, wait, but I also hear that you are a boxer.
Oh yeah, for about 1.5 years. Then that's actually how I got connected here.
Does that hurt?
If you do it wrong, yeah. And if you do it enough times, I guess. I've gotten better at dodging. That's the key to not getting hurt.
What, is it about exercise? Is it about self-defense? Like, why?
It's a few things. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of romanticized it before I got into it, and that was sort of my desire. But it's a lot of variety, a lot of good cardio, and kind of circuit training. That's honestly mostly what we do.
Okay.
So there's technique, and then I'd say about 20%-ish of the time we actually spar. And when you have like an understanding, and you know what you're doing, and you're in the ring for that purpose, and you're wearing padding and you're protecting yourself, it's different than like a street fight, I'll say.
And do you have a favorite boxing movie?
There aren't that many that I've seen, and to be quite honest, I only saw Rocky for the first time within the last few months. That one was pretty great.
Young,
but
man.
I've never
I'm
seen it
young.
either, and I'm slightly older.
Oh, you haven't seen it?
I started on the third one, and I haven't gone back to see the first one.
Interesting.
Anything filled with testosterone, Baxter Ian has not watched. Did you ever see Raging Bull?
Raging
I
Bull
saw-
is excellent.
I
Yeah.
saw that.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that your film pick this week is a boxing film.
You know what? That's yes, and a great segue too. But before we move off of the boxing movies, Fat City. I really like that one too. If
Yeah,
either
that's
of
a
you
great
seen
movie. Yeah,
it's a fun
it's
one.
an awesome movie.
I've never seen it. I wasn't born.
Yeah, but they have something called VHS tapes when you were young. You
Rental
could have rented it.
Something to look forward to. I'll see it. Is it like for non-sports people? Is it an interesting sports film?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, it's depressing. It's a John Huston, I think, right?
Yep.
Okay, I love depressing. Bill knows I love depressing.
Yeah, and a rare Stacy Keach lead performance.
Oh, okay.
So
I've heard he has some creepy history. That's just
No,
reading.
he doesn't.
Oh.
He's really nice.
Doesn't he? Is that Stacy Keach?
No,
I think it is. Or maybe it's not Stacy Keach. I'm thinking of Oliver something. Oliver Reed, maybe.
Oliver was a drunk.
I always confuse the two. They're like doppelgangers.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if you're looking for boxing movies, Digstown is really good also from 1990. Michael Ritchie, James Woods, Ian's favorite political ally, and Lou Gossett Jr. And,
Okay,
how about
cool.
the
Digstown?
There's Great White Hype. Is that good?
Yes, that's The Great White Hope is awesome with James Earl Jones. That movie's awesome. I think that's Martin Ritt. That's like 1972.
Okay.
That's a great movie also.
Okay, noted.
Now, and this is probably going to come out weird. I shouldn't even probably say it, but has anyone ever told you that you somewhat look like Edgar Allan Poe?
Ooh, no, that's a new one. But I like it. I'll take it.
Yeah, and I think he was a handsome guy, so I don't mean that in any weird way. All right. That's a compliment.
I appreciate it.
If he did mean it in a weird way, what's wrong with that?
I mean, we're far enough apart that it doesn't matter. Like,
I don't mean it in like a mean,
away.
like he was not a good-looking guy way. I don't mean it in as far as I can tell, he was a handsome guy.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I'm saying I didn't mean to say if someone thinks he's an unattractive guy, I didn't want Baxter to think that I was saying he wasn't handsome. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to shut up.
No, I appreciate the preamble, but I take it as a compliment. It's better than I used to have different hair, no mustache, and different glasses in high school, and it alternated between Harry Potter and Superbad, McLovin. So this is a step up.
But that's not. Those are cool.
Superbad is tough. Harry Potter is good.
Yeah.
One time a tour guy said I looked like Jonah Hill. He yelled it in the Hollywood Hills. I tried to chase him down. Isn't it crazy?
But he's super famous, and that's fine. He's super bad. My brother used to get Julian Lennon because I guess he had the little glasses and stuff, and he didn't like it. But whatever. Okay, so I guess we should move into your film pick regarding boxing. What is your film pick, and why do you think it should not be ejected?
So my pick is Robert Altman's 1980 film Popeye, starring Robin Williams and Shelley Duvall, along with a host of other Altman regulars and exciting character actors. Let's see. What do I want to say about it? Can I give a little kind of background of how I...
Yes, please.
Perfect. Well, I grew up watching the old Popeye cartoons, especially the black and white kind of Depression era Poverty Row ones. And I'm pretty sure that it was just one of those things at Blockbuster. I was with my dad and I saw the cover and rented it, and it became like a fixture of my childhood. It's as we can get into, it's not really a kid-friendly movie, I would say, but for some reason it worked with me and I would check it out over and over again. I really liked from the very beginning, that little kind of cartoon intro where Popeye comes in, he says, "Oh, I'm in the wrong picture." I would rewind that and play it over again and again. I think it was like my first exposure to a meta moment, which I don't know, maybe got the wheels turning. But I've always just found it fascinating. It's a unique object. It's the kind of thing where I think the virtues and the flaws are the same. They're one and the same, and it can be the kind of thing that puts somebody off, might turn somebody else onto it. by which I refer to like a lot of the action takes place in these big wide shots, which is kind of an Altman signature. So there's like a bunch of things happening, and you don't really know where you're supposed to look. It's kind of up to you to pay attention to whatever you want. There's a lot of mumbling and overlapping dialogue, which is that appears in the Popeye cartoons, and it's kind of another Altman signature. There's a lot of improv. You have Robin Williams in his first feature performance doing all these little side 80-yard Popeye comments on what he's, the freaks around him. And you have, I think it's cast beautifully. Everybody is perfect in their part. Like I said, Robin Williams, he knocks it out of the park, in my opinion. And Shelley Duvall, fresh off of The Shining, kind of has this like woozy vulnerability, but she moves around like a noodle, and she has this overconfident kind of bratty tween energy that I think really, it's perfect for the role, and she's really
made
well.
for this movie. Made for this movie,
for better or worse. I think there's a quote of hers where she says something like I don't know if it's part of the quote, but like the journalist says, she begrudgingly admits, yeah, I was born to play this part. So there might have been a little attitude there, but yeah.
Do you want to see a clip? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. What's that?
Should I go into a clip and then we'll come back to discussing? Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
Hold tight.
Uh-oh.
Women and infants first. Here you go. I'll get back to you, I will. You'll remember me by it. Good luck. There's a logical explanation for this. I'd make the same mistake myself. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
How do you think he did the red? Do you think they did that in optically, or did they really just change everything?
I think they just changed everything because like the skin tone and everything else looks normal. But it's those little kind of surreal moments that pop out of nowhere that really, really excite me about the movie. But also I think you get a little sense in that clip of some of the things that didn't work for people, which, like I said, I love this as a kid. This most recent rewatch, I hadn't seen it in a long time. And I'm going to admit, I still love it, but it didn't work quite as well for me. It's sluggish in a lot of places, plot-wise, and there's a lot of visual gags that I think don't land. For everything that does land and is exciting, there are a couple things where you go, okay, what is this? Why is this here? But actually, if I may, I think that's a decent segue into a little background. You mind if I sort of give a little background? Yeah. So just to kind of, for anyone who may watch this and just sort of wonder why is this the way it is? It came about in the late 70s in this period of like excess with the new Hollywood, and so some information that I got from Wikipedia, but it's confirming other things that I've read in the past. So I think it's all true. But apparently this really started because Robert Evans, famed new Hollywood producer, lost the bidding war for the musical Annie, which was on Broadway and a big hit at the time. So he lost that, and he said to himself, okay, well then I'll just pick another comic strip and turn that into a musical film, and that'll be my statement. So supposedly he had this meeting with other Gulf Western executives and said, okay, well, which of these old comic strips that we have the rights to would make a good musical? And somebody said Popeye.
Wow.
So from there, I'm going to kind of gloss over the rest, but it was a very troubled production. It changed hands a lot. There were a lot of script rewrites. There were problems with the prosthetics. It went way over budget. And to put it mildly, there was a lot of substance use on set.
We have a clip.
Do you want me to play that? Do you mind if we pause for 1 second again?
Sure.
Baxter?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Here we go.
Most coked up film set.
Coked up film set?
Yeah.
Oh, Popeye. No, you can watch. By the way, you can watch it. If you watch Popeye, you're watching a movie that you think of it in the thing they used to do about record speeds, 33, whatever. This is a movie that runs at 78 RPM and 33 speed. It is a coke.
You visited the set, and
I did,
and you would instantly knew everybody's coked up.
You knew it. You couldn't escape it. They were actually shipping in film cans at the time. That film cans would be sent back to LA for daily processing of the film. This was shot in Malta, and we found out that the film cans were actually being used to ship cocaine back and forth to this set.
Wow.
Everyone was stoned.
Thanks. Anybody else want a pod ticket? Oh, the day's funny. Okay. Nobody home?
You can see it.
Yeah, you can see it, and some people would say it helps, and other people would say no, thank you.
Yeah, it's a weird energy. This,
Mhm.
I think this is a movie I saw. It came out in 1980. I was 8 years old. I loved it then. I remember still, I don't know why I remember. This movie really made an impression on me, but I remember speaking to my friends at the bus stop the day after I saw this movie, so excited about it.
Mhm.
It's watching it now, definitely felt very grating. Whenever my wife would walk in, she'd be like, I can't, this movie creeps me out. So I have to be honest, I could not get to the end because she would not let me finish it. I love my wife. I had to respect her, but I did remember the end quite well. I could see what she means. Pacing wise, it's weird, like you said, but I think for its time, I loved it. It did its mission. It's very fragmented, but it's like different comics. Each piece is a little comic. So I think it makes sense. I think it succeeded because I liked it as a kid. Adult, not so much. But what do you think, Bill?
So we've seen a lot of bad movies because of Ian, but this is the one movie my girlfriend goes, "You owe me." Even as a kid, my girlfriend goes, even as a kid, I saw this in the theater and I was like, what the hell is this? I'm a huge Harry Nilsson fan. The music is unbelievable. And everyone told Robert
in a good
Altman,
way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. He's one of the greatest musicians ever and lyricist. Even though the songs are just so beautiful and poetic, it doesn't like it's tough in being such a disjointed movie. But I would say this, that everyone, to Robert Altman's credit, everyone said don't work with Harry Nilsson, who died, I think in the late 80s, around 1990. He said don't work with him. He's a big drunk. And Robert Altman, who was a big drunk, said, I'm going to do it. And to his credit, that's the saving grace of this movie, is the music. The song "He Needs Me" was used beautifully in Punch Drunk Love. Paul Thomas Anderson was a genius for using that. But I have some quotes here. The famous producer Don Simpson worked his way up at Paramount, so he was a Paramount exec at the time, and he said this about Robert Altman. He goes, "We made Popeye, and we hated Altman. He was a true fraud. He was full of gibberish and full of himself, a pompous, pretentious asshole." And then Robert Altman said this about Don Simpson when he died in 1996. He said, "I'm only sorry he didn't live longer and suffer more." So there's some bad blood there.
Wow.
For a comic book movie. The script was written by Jules Pfeiffer, who was a genius. I think he wrote Carnal Knowledge. Robert Altman didn't really follow scripts. And I guess they spent all the money building the sets were absolutely beautiful. And then the climax with the octopus looks like a beanbag chair. Spoiler. But it's, see it for the music. I don't know if you can buy the soundtrack, but I think Robin Williams got sober after John Belushi died, so 82. So he had 2 years of partying after that. So, um, yeah, I'm glad that Robert Altman rebounded in the 90s because he's when he's good, and when he's bad, like in Popeye, he's bad.
I mean, there's a lot of great performances, like you said. I think she was made to play Olive Oyl. I think Robin Williams is great. I can't imagine acting with your eyes shut like that and the pipe in your mouth. I'd be so sore.
And the arms.
Yeah, and the arms.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe cocaine helps you see past that.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, there's a lot going on. Sometimes you don't even know why. Like there's all this weird forced humor, like, oh, I'm walking this way. No, I'm walking that way. And like just weird, just doesn't work. But as a kid, I think I thought it was amazing. So for kids, show your kids, but maybe you can play with your phone while your kids watch it. That's my recommendation.
And I mean, jumping back to the soundtrack, that is something that I've definitely held on to over the years. I'm a big Harry Nilsson fan, and the songs are wonderful. I would say they're even better on the soundtrack, divorced from the movie, just because it's easier to hear them. Yeah. But yeah, the He Needs Me is put to that's probably my favorite part in the whole movie. It's just like everything kind of calms down, and we just have this perfectly simple but really like harmonious sequence of a wonderful little song with this nice performance and this choreography that's kind of woozy and weird, but it really works for it. And I think it's beguiling and kind of elevates, or what's the word? It sort of transcends the movie, I would say. Yeah. But
I didn't realize how many of those songs had stuck with me watching it. I'm like, oh my God, I sing these all the time. Like, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. For some reason, I sing that. I am what I am. Like like you said, the music does transcend the project, but I think there's still something worth seeing here.
Did they build that set? It seems like there was like no miniatures. Maybe in the scene where he's yelling at everyone to shut off the lights. But they built that set. It was impressive. That production design is unbelievable.
They were saying ships, like they bought real ships and sunk them. The ones in you see here. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. No, and this I do know, they built the whole set in Malta, and that's another reason to see it, just for this cool production design. And from what last I heard, it's still up there, and it's become like a museum exhibit. And you can go, if you're ever in Malta, you can visit the Popeye set and look around where they shot it.
That's cool. Wow. I believe that world like that. That took me somewhere. I remember as a kid, like I believed that was a place.
What was it supposed to be? What was it supposed to be? Was it supposed to be New England or something? Like, what's it supposed to be?
I think it's just sort of like a plucked out of time, like a seaside kind of village. Yeah. Maybe New England, maybe probably New England or I don't know.
Very dry Canada. For New England.
That's true, yeah. And a lot of harsh lighting. I was kind of surprised that I'd forgotten that Federico Fellini's DP Giuseppe Rotono shot this, and I wasn't crazy about the photography. It's a lot of kind of harsh lights and
a lot of shadows.
Flat, a lot of shadows, a lot of flat kind of white light everywhere.
That's probably the Altman at play here.
Maybe just to give everybody room. Like, we don't know where they're going to be, so just light everything and we'll follow you around.
Maybe. Yeah, we don't want to restrict them at all.
Yeah.
And also, I would be remiss to not mention about how cute Sweet Pea was.
Oh my God, yeah. Kid. There's a Sweet Pea.
Adorable little kid. Oh my goodness.
So cute. And still a young child compared to me and you. Okay, so we move on to my pick, which this is a film that I had not seen until my son and I watched it 2 weeks ago. And I think the reason I had not seen it is because the poster for The Sure Thing makes it look like kind of just like a teen cheesy sex comedy in the 80s. And I was I think I was 13 when this came out, 12 or 13. So I'm like, I'm not interested in that. And I thought it was this other movie called Hot Pursuit with John Cusack. So I'm like, oh, I saw that, and that was dumb. So I thought they were the same movie. So I never watched it. And then my son and I got a Laserdisc. We're like, we'll try it as our first Laserdisc on this machine. And it's so charming. It's Rob Reiner, 1985. It's about John Cusack. He's not having luck with girls. And his friend, played by Anthony Edwards, says, hey, I'm out here, I think in LA. There's this girl. I told her all about you. She really wants to hook up with you. She's a sure thing. And this is the photo that he sent. So he's like, okay, I'm traveling out west to go see her. And he gets in the car with Daphne Zuniga, from his school, and the sure thing starts to turn into the real thing with her. I'll show you a little clip, and then we can talk about it. Here is a clip.
Usually when I meet someone new, I feel awkward and shy. With you, it's different. I feel I can talk to you. You know what I'm thinking without me having to explain it to you in fancy terms. We speak each other's unspoken language.
What?
Fluently. Allison, I love you.
Did it hurt you?
No. Ah!
I think this is peak John Cusack. It's so funny, it's sweet, it's charming, and I think underrated. A lot of people do love this film, but there's a lot of people like me as well who never gave it a chance. What do you think, Baxter?
I don't want to be too harsh. I was kind of hot and cold on it, to be honest. Yeah, I found a lot of it charming, actually, and I really dug. Mostly, I'm going to say the beginning, like the first act. I think when they're in the school.
Yeah,
I think that gave a lot of, like, I like the way the characters were shaded, and I felt like the two leads were kind of on an even playing field. They had a nice volley. I really like that teacher too, who shows up kind of just as
she was great
at the beginning. Yeah, she's great. I thought it had good pacing. Now I'm always a little wary of a plot where it's like he's loose, she's uptight, he has the right idea, she has the wrong idea, she needs to take a lesson from him. And so I wasn't crazy about the way that kind of played out, because in my opinion, sure, she could benefit from loosening up and getting some life experience, but at the beginning of the movie, like she dresses well, she's showing up to class, she has friends, we see her talking to friends, so it's not like she's a shut-in. And with the phone call with the boyfriend, it sounds like they like each other. So I didn't buy some of the plot machinations as it went on. Now, I had the thought that maybe, obviously this isn't what would have happened in an 80s kind of teen movie, but if they had more of like a sibling dynamic, or maybe ended up being friends or something, that might have worked more for me.
Yeah.
And I know they both undergo like a personality change by the end, but I didn't really buy that from her, at least.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's fair.
But there was a lot to like, a lot of charming moments. I kind of run hot and cold with John Cusack, and I found him, again, more charming at the beginning than as it went on. But yeah, I would say overall I enjoyed it.
Well, good. I think it's the odd couple in a car. It's very predictable. You know what's going to happen, but it's so, I don't know, it's funny and sweet. That's why I liked. Bill, what do you think?
I think it's in the 80s. It happened one night. I remember seeing it in the 80s. I never saw it in the theater because, you know, that risque and that opening sequence to Rod Stewart's song. I think it's a 4-star movie. It's not a Stephen comedy. It's Stephen L. Bloom wrote the script. They both learn from each other, which I liked. And then at the end, he doesn't want to sleep with the sure thing because he's grown as a person. I think the second best Rob Reiner movie ever. First one being Misery. John Cusack, you know, you would think that he would have a sense of humor, but lately it seems like he doesn't. After starting,
yeah, true. It's funny. He's so dry now.
He hates Better Off Dead and all this stuff, but I guess he's just a complicated guy. Yeah, it's just a modern version, well, an 80s version of It Happened One Night. Tim Robbins was hilarious in the movie.
That part was great.
Zuniga was so good. I can't believe she didn't,
same. I never gave her credit. I was like, I loved her in this. She's so good.
Yeah.
And Anthony Edwards is in it. He's actually one of the nicest people in Hollywood. He's notoriously nice. So
after Baxter.
After Baxter.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, he's so young in this. I was surprised.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, he was a big star. Yeah, he was they tried to make him into a big star, and he did a movie called Gotcha, which didn't work.
Got you where I want you. I know that soundtrack still.
I haven't seen that.
Do you really?
I remember that song. Too late to turn back now.
Gotcha, got you where I want you. Too late to turn back now. Gotcha, and you got me.
Sorry, go on.
I actually, I mostly associate Anthony Edwards with, he has kind of a smaller part in Zodiac. I think he's great in that. And actually, he's in one of my favorite movies, Miracle Mile.
Oh yeah.
It's a great
Yeah, and he's
Ejectable.
excellent in that. Yeah.
That's an awesome. How do you know that movie? You're so young.
I went on a kick of like apocalyptic movies, and that was one that I just really loved. I love the writing.
We
but-
got to have you back to
At the La
discuss
Brea
that.
Tar Pits. Yeah, you should
heck
do
yes,
that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's a perfect Ejectable. That movie's awesome.
Yeah, oh, I love it.
Yeah, this movie. They try to sell it like a teen sex comedy. You know, they had like Private Resort with Johnny Depp and all that
It's
stuff.
so much better than that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why I never watched
yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
My son loved it. My 18-year-old, who's like, yeah, he's sort of into like, 80s teen movies right now. He was like, this is so good. I want to watch it again immediately. So that's kind of
Nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bill, now you picked a movie this week. We allowed you to pick one. What did you pick?
So Vinegar Syndrome, which is a big DVD imprint, released the director's cut of the movie Jade.
Oops, sorry.
Which is from 1992. Joe Esterhaus wrote it during his heyday, right after Showgirls and Basic Instinct and all that stuff. I think it's original. It's not based on a book, and involves a district attorney as he follows the murder of some very wealthy San Franciscoans, and they're trying to figure out who killed them, and involves his best friend, who's a high-powered lawyer, and his wife, who has a secret life as how would you put it? I don't know. Linda Ferrantino.
Like a high class call girl.
She
kind of
sells
thing?
these containers, right? Isn't that her business?
Yeah, she's a high class. Yeah, she has a doctorate in psychology who gives lectures on personality disorders, but then she also is a high class call girl. This was David Caruso's second starring movie. He was a working actor for years, and he really shined in one of my favorite movies called Mad Dog and Glory, which will be an Ejectable. And then he did Kiss of Death, which is a great movie as well. And this was the second movie, and after that, they said no more. He also is a giant pain in the ass. And so Joe Esterhaus wrote this movie, and William Friedkin, who was on a pretty bad run of movies, couldn't get arrested. His wife was Sherry Lansing at Paramount, and Sherry Lansing said, William Friedkin will direct your movie, and he promises not to change a word. And so he agreed to it, and then he found out that he changed 80% of the movie. And in fact, I think the original movie that was cut has the final line, "Get a life" or something like that. I remember seeing it at the beginning of film school, and I was a snotty film school kid. I'm like, Joe Esterhaus is such a hack. I reversed my position. If you read Hollywood Animal, he's a god. He's a beast. I mean, he wrote original scripts that sold for $3 million. I mean, that time in Hollywood history will never happen again. And, Showgirls is unintentionally bad. I just don't know if that was Paul Verhoeven or Joe Esterhaus. But if you see like Music Box and Jagged Edge, I mean, he was just unbelievable. Even his bad movies like Big Shot, there's a really good idea in them. This was the beginning of the end of him. He did Sliver, which was Philip Noyce, but it was based on the book by, I think, Ira Levin.
Was that before or after this? Sliver?
I think it was before, because I was in high school when that came out. But Ira Levin, wrote Rosemary's Baby and Stepford Wives. So, and when that didn't work, I think this was like the final nail in the coffin. And do you have a clip, Ian?
I do.
Have you ever been to Medford's Beach House in Pacifica?
I've only been to his house in the city. I didn't even know he had a place in Pacifica.
Ever give Medford a silver jewelry box?
No, I never gave him any gift.
And you never had a sexual relationship with him?
What the hell kind of question is that, David?
That's why they're here, Matt.
You don't have to answer that.
I said I had no social contact with him. I do consider sex to be a social contact, David. As you know, I'm married.
He's so good. I forgot how good he was. Yeah.
He was.
My only issue is Chaz Palminteri was coming off, I think, Usual Suspects. So he's just a little miscast as a high powerful lawyer. And also got confused. I thought David Caruso was a cop in the beginning because he's not really acting like a district attorney.
Yeah.
But what'd you guys think? Baxter, what'd you think?
I like this one pretty well, actually. It's the kind of thing where I try and approach something on its own terms, and this to me is like self-consciously, a B picture, like a 90s erotic thriller, the breed of which we don't see anymore. And I had a lot of fun. I haven't seen the original, so I don't know, like, I watched the director's cut. I don't know exactly what was changed, but a little convoluted, but I followed it well enough. Like I got what I needed to get out of each scene. I found it pretty compelling. I thought Linda Fiorentino really elevated a character that in other hands could have maybe, I don't know, felt flat or regressive, I guess. It's still not the most nuanced portrait of a female person, but I thought she was great. And for all the flack that Caruso gets as a film actor, I thought for the most part he was fine. Not like excellent, but I thought he was solid. And I think he really was he's at his best in this, in the moments where it's more quiet, like he's looking and he's thinking about something, he's trying to put something together. I thought he plays those really well.
Yeah.
And killer car chase too. So
yeah.
No one does a better car chase. This, French Connection, and To Live and Die in LA. How do you as a film director even do a car chase? It's
the
crazy.
slow motion chase, not slow motion, but the slow chase through the parade. I was like, this is going on so long.
A good runner-up is We Own the Night, the James Gray movie. That was that was in the same league. But as a film, how do you even have the balls to even attempt the car chase?
Was the director's cut just 10 extra minutes in that parade of the cars trying to get through the parade? Was that it?
That was awesome, dude. I could watch the whole movie like that. That's a good idea for a movie.
I liked it. I think I saw this in the day. It left zero impression. I think I was, after Fatal Attraction, Sliver, and Basic Instinct, we'd been there, done that. And this just felt like a little bit more of the same. So if you had sat through all those, and I saw everything back then. So I remember not having any impression of this film. So coming back to watch it in the director's cut, there's a lot to like. I think it looks great. The James Horner soundtrack is great. I think the acting's good. I think Caruso, like you said, in those quiet moments, like the clip that we showed just before that, he's just listening and you can see so much going on. So he was great. I think near the end, it was just like a sort of much ado about nothing. It was like, oh, let's make another twist. Oh, no, it's not this person. It's that person, which is, that's fun. It didn't leave, again, not much of an impression. I think it looks great. All the elements are there. I don't think it really comes together in the end, but I don't think it's horrible. That's
there
not
you
a
go.
bad review. Yeah.
No, and because all your picks are horrible, so that's a good
I accept that, including The Sure Thing.
No, it's the only pick you ever had that was good.
That means not all my picks are horrible. And Midnight Special you loved.
No, that's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Speaking of me, Baxter,
gotta stick up for this. Yeah.
Hey, come on, will you box him for me?
I will. I'm getting on a plane right now.
And I'll get that film finish for you.
Please, yes.
All right.
I used to box at Wildcard Boxing on Vine with Freddie Roach's gym. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
A little FYI.
I used to box my VHS tapes when I'd be moving somewhere.
Dork.
God.
Sorry.
All right. Well, it's been great.
I'm sorry. I should not be a writer. Okay, so here comes the point of the show where you have to choose Ian's pick. Which one of my picks do you select, Baxter?
I believe what I'm doing is I'm picking one of your the other two movies.
Mine.
You can't,
yes.
you can't pick
just
can't
mine.
Pick your pick.
Got
Only
it.
Mine.
I'm sorry, Ian, but I just in terms of like how much I was engaged and like how you're.
It's okay.
I think I got to go with Jade on this one. Yeah.
I'm gonna work out and we're gonna box.
Yeah. Spend a couple months and then we'll get in the ring.
You got a decade to get up there, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
Give me time. I'm gonna choose Popeye just because it did what it needed to do as a kid's film when I was a kid. I did love it. Now a bit tortural, I'll admit, but it was supposed to do when I was a kid. So I'm gonna give it my vote for that reason. Bill?
So like nostalgia factor.
Exactly. And I can see why I liked it as a kid. And
Back when the world was safe.
Exactly.
I'm going to choose the Sure Thing just because of that Rod Stewart song in the beginning.
Yes,
So,
in the montage.
So you know what that means? We all get a signed headshot from Ian when he was an actor.
Congratulations, Baxter. You're
Nice.
welcome.
What a wonderful intro. Wonderful induction.
You're
Ian,
in.
hey Ian, where can we find these movies?
You can find The Sure Thing. I got to take off my glasses so I can read it. You can find free on YouTube. It's actually a pretty good transfer of it as well. And you can find a Blu-ray of it. Popeye is on Pluto, but I believe Bill said that's in Spanish. So maybe that's not the most...
I hit the wrong one. I'm an
Okay. So you can find it on Pluto, or you can rent it, but why rent it if you can get it free on Pluto?
Actually,
with some
in
commercials?
Spanish, it makes more sense, to be honest.
Okay, watch it in Spanish, everyone.
It's probably the same amount of ADR either way.
Oh, that's true. We didn't even discuss that. And you can find it on Blu-ray. Jade, the director's cut, like he said, is what's that company that?
Check out Vinegar Syndrome. They just released 2 movies, Dirty Work and Jade Director's Cut. And
4K.
Their specialty DVD place for film nerds.
Or it can be found. You can or you can rent that director's cut on Fandango at home. Though that transfer is pretty ugly. It's pretty muddy. So see the 4K instead. So that's where you can find them. Well, Baxter Smith, thank you very much for your time. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your film pick and for looking like Edgar Allan Poe. And please return and do the Miracle Mile and beat the hell out of Greg, please.
Happy to do all those things. Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
It's been great. Everyone, please like, share, tell your friends, and maybe you can spar with Baxter sometime. And film friends who worked with Baxter, finish the damn film. Okay.
Get on it. Get on it.
Get on it now. And please stick around for a minute. Here's our goodbye song.
Pop the popcorn, grab a Coke, and find that old VHS. We're diving deep in cheesy flicks. Yeah, we're on a vintage quest. Low reviews but high on laughs. Let's give these films a cheer. The cult classics, flops, and nuts. There are topics this year. We're the Ejectables, rolling back the years, celebrating movies that no one else cheers. From backhanded juice to epic fails, we say it's all good. We're the Ejectables, yeah, we're misunderstood.